A huge WWE departure has been confirmed. Plus, we're going to talk about so much more right here on the Ango Show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TAS. Let's kick things off with some AEW news. Ricky Starks was backstage at AEW Dynamite last week. Very interesting news coming from PW Insider. They have reported while Ricky Starks was not on television, he was in Jacksonville and he was getting checked out by AEW's medical team. Obviously, look, a lot of people have been kind of wondering what's going on with Ricky Starks. A lot of people were not sure if he's actually injured, if he's actually fine. A lot of people have kind of been concerned about Ricky Starks. A lot of people are also speculating that Ricky Starks could be leaving AEW for WWE. And, there's been no update on that. There's been no conversation about Ricky Starks and his contract status. And obviously, look, AEW is it's a constantly evolving television show. When you look at Dynamite, Collision, and Rampage, they have a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of new people in the company. They got Big Bill in the learning tree with Chris Jericho, and they're telling a story there. I actually liked Ricky Starks and Big Bill as a tag team, but I've always kind of wondered why AEW hasn't really pushed Ricky Starks as one of the top baby faces in the company. This guy is an incredible talent, and he's a great heel. He's even a better baby face. This is a guy who's going to be successful in pro wrestling. Whether it's in AEW or WWE or maybe even somewhere else, I don't know. But obviously being backstage at AEW, getting checked out by the medical team tells me that more than likely he just simply isn't cleared. I wouldn't read too much into the rumors about him leaving AEW and stuff because, quite frankly, there is no merit to any of those rumors. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible that Ricky Starks doesn't go to WWE or something like that when his contract expires, but anytime I see these rumors, I think people are just speculating based on what they want to see happen and not necessarily with the facts. Now, I think Ricky Starks will be successful. I think Ricky Starks could be successful in AEW. I also think he could be really successful in WWE. He's a great entertainer. He's a great talker. I remember watching him in NWA and thinking this guy is going to be a big deal. And in some cases, AEW has done a good job at making him a big deal. And in other cases, maybe they haven't done such a great job. When he's ready to return, how do you bring him in? Do you have him getting involved with the learning tree and the Chris Jericho storyline? Or do you have Ricky Starks get involved by doing something completely different? They have the International Championship, the TNT Championship. What is the route that they want to go? I don't know. I'm not even sure if AEW has the vision, but for those who are wondering, it sounds like he could be getting prepared to come back relatively soon. I want to turn our attention to Kevin Owens. A lot of talk about Kevin Owens and more specifically his contract situation with the WWE. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about Kevin Owens in the past and whether or not he would go to AEW. I think you guys may remember when Kevin Owens, standing in the ring and looking like he was done with WWE. And then sure enough, Kevin Owens is on TV in big storylines. Just a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of crazy speculation. While speaking with the Metro UK, Owens actually commented on his WWE future with the company and confirmed that his deal is up in 9 months. He says, I really don't take anything for granted. I've got 9 months left on my contract and I don't know what can happen from here on out. That's just life. If I've learned anything over the last few years, it's that nothing is guaranteed. I've learned that through some very unfortunate events, we've lost so many good people that was never expected. This has been my home for 10 years and it's beyond the locker room. There's some very, very, very special people that work behind the scenes that I've become very close with, and I really can't imagine not seeing them as part of my life. Wow. Guys, is Kevin Owens going to leave WWE in 9 months? I'm going to say it now. I don't think so. I don't think so. And I think a lot of the AEW loyalists would love to see it happen. It is very well documented that Kevin Owens has a great history with the Bucks and the Elite. And quite honestly, I can't imagine not listen, if WWE and Triple H and this new regime wasn't in the situation, I don't know if Kevin Owens would be in WWE. But I feel like a lot has changed in the company, which in a way it's kind of like security for talent. I only see Kevin Owens leaving WWE if WWE doesn't want to pay Kevin Owens what they got to pay him to keep him. But Now I don't know if I necessarily have that concern with all of these top stars actually remaining in the company. Just keep in mind, 9 months is still a lot of time away. I think it's important to acknowledge that technically anything is possible, but whether it's actually likely, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. And the way that I like to think of it is Kevin Owens could benefit greatly from being in AEW, but also at the same time, too, I'm enjoying his work in WWE. I would definitely want to see Kevin Owens go for a world championship at some point in WWE, especially with the Triple H era and the new regime. But if it didn't work out, I would never be mad at him for leaving, honestly. It doesn't sound like he's open to leaving. It doesn't sound like he wants to leave. It sounds like it's pretty obvious he's, willing to stay in WWE. It's just a matter of WWE making that happen. And look, Kevin Owens is such a great talent that, yeah, he can go to AEW and make it work. But at some point, you have to wonder, like, what will AEW look like 9 months from now? We can't predict this. There's just so much moving parts and stuff. So that is something to acknowledge and obviously keep that in mind. But we'll see how it all shakes out. A huge WWE departure has been confirmed. Jerry the King Lawler is no longer with the company. And I'm actually kind of shocked, but also at the same time, too, it kind of makes sense. PW Insider is reporting that WWE declined to renew Jerry Lawler's contract with the company. This ends a relationship that started at the end of 1992 when he joined the company as a wrestler and broadcaster. A lot of people in the company were actually met with surprise when they found out that he's no longer with the company. A lot of people thought that he'd be there forever, but that really wasn't the case. Another person was quoted in the PW Insider story saying that the old company is dead, and while people who dislike or hate Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn, someone like Lawler would have been taken care of, and someone like Howard Finkel, if he was still alive, would not have a job in today's WWE. Lawler is said to be doing better since suffering a massive stroke in February 2024, and he has been doing select signings in the Memphis area. Yeah, very interesting stuff, man. I don't know. Look, here's how I look at it. Jerry the King Lawler, obviously in today's WWE, probably not necessarily a fit anymore. I know with Jerry the King Lawler and, health issues and stuff like that, I don't know if Jerry the King Lawler will be a full-time member of any roster or any broadcast team. But, I mean, guys, Jim Ross, AEW, pay-per-view. Wouldn't be a bad idea for Tony Khan to make that call for a special one-off call between Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross. I'm just saying it wouldn't be a bad idea. But look, it's not like this guy's full-time with the WWE. If the WWE ever wants to bring him in for one-off or, anything like that, I'm sure they can. In terms of not picking up the contract, that was their decision. Business is business, right? He wasn't released. They just decided not to re-sign him. So it's a pretty big departure when you consider the history that he's had with the company, but also at the same time, too, it's not like they need him on television or they need him on the broadcast booth. And just, hey, why not? Jim Ross is still doing commentary. Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler, one final time, AEW All In at Wembley Stadium. Who could really be against that? I wouldn't expect him full-time in any capacity anywhere, but that could be a really cool thing. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Ango Show.